Tonight, we want to offer a different look at the wrenching emotional toll these mass shootings can take. William Brangham is back with that.
Judy, Monday night in El Paso, we went to the very first memorial for one of the victims of Saturday's massacre. His name is Javier Amir Rodriguez.
It was the minutes from 10:39 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. on August 3rd, 2019, when terror rung out at a Walmart store in El Paso, Texas. Patrick Wood Crucius killed 23 and injured an additional 23 in a pure hate crime shooting where Crucius admitted his goal was to target Mexicans.
Tonight, even though we are angry and mourn the death of a friend, our student, our son, we refuse to accept darkness as our closest friend.
It was this picture, captured by visual journalist Callaghan O'Hare, that received the honors of being included in the Time Top 100 Photos of 2019. Simple, yet incredibly powerful, it can be easily understood why this picture, that captures the true effects that these tragedies have on the families and friends of victims, was considered worthy enough to be included in the Time Top 100 Photos of 2019. But what exactly makes this image powerful? How is this image effective? What is the purpose of this image? And who is the intended audience? In order to best understand this image's purpose, we'll have to rhetorically analyze key pieces such as image design choices, ethos, pathos, and logos appeals, what the main audience and secondary audience is, and the claim and thesis of the image.
Judy, Monday night in El Paso, we went to the very first memorial for one of the victims of Saturday's massacre.
It was this memorial, just 2 days after the shooting took place, where Callaghan O'Hare captured the powerful photo, the photo that is subject to today's video. This memorial, held on Monday, August 5th, was for the shooting's youngest victim, 15-year-old Javier Rodriguez. The memorial was held at Horizon High School, which was the school that Rodriguez attended. It was this memorial that serves as the background for the image captured.
Javier did not deserve to be taken away from his family. Javier did not deserve to be taken away from his friends. Javier did not deserve to be taken away from his school. And Javier did not deserve to be taken away from all of us.
Now that we've established the context and setting of the image, we need to decipher what the main purpose could be. After carefully and rhetorically analyzing the image myself, I would argue that the main purpose is to show the effects that these terrible tragedies have on friends and families of those who fall victim. The image does a fantastic way of portraying its purpose through the use of pathos. The emotional appeal of this image is overwhelmingly significant. Almost every design choice provides an emotional appeal. From the emphasis to the color and lighting effects, and even the organization, emotion can be seen in every aspect of this image, along with the audience feeling emotion simply by viewing the image. The ethical appeal of this image is emphasized by the tear on the classmate's face. The tear represents sadness as well as brokenness. It can ethically be assumed that everyone close to this specific victim feels pain. The image utilizes the ethos appeal least, however, as the design choices portray emotion much more than they portray ethics. The logical appeal of this image can also be traced back to the idea of brokenness. That can logically be assumed at first glance when viewing the image. As you can see, Javier's former classmates are dealing with brokenness. The text does rely on logic more than it does on ethics, but it is still not the significant appeal. Logical thoughts must and will be formed when viewing this image. However, once again, it is the emotional appeal that is overwhelmingly significant. Now to recap this part, let's review the key points discussed. The context and setting behind the image is a memorial held at Horizon High School 2 days after the shooting took place, where 15-year-old victim Javier Rodriguez attended. The image's purpose is to show the effects that these tragedies have on friends and families of those who fall victim. The image's main appeal is pathos, the appeal of emotion. The strategic design choices used in the image are what best portray the image's purpose. Strategic design choices are what make any image significant. They are what make an image stand out. This image is certainly no different. So let's take a quick look at some of the strategic designs within this particular award-winning image. The tear on Javier's fellow classmate at the memorial was an element stressed in this image. This element shows emphasis. The lighting on the main character's face is much brighter and clearer than the second classmate. This is because the classmate with more light shined on him happens to have a more significant facial expression, therefore showing contrast. The colors of this image are dark, except for the faces of the two classmates shown. These color choices show simplicity and allow the audience to focus on the dominant figures. The image is organized to contain the dominantly shown classmate with the tear on his face and the other classmate with a more blurred figure and a pure black background to complement. The alignment is also very simple. The main student is placed near the center of the image, and the secondary student is towards the left of the image. The proximity allows for attention to be focused on the student with the brighter lighting, and then the attention to be shifted to the secondary student with the slightly darker lighting. These design choices are what contribute to this image being so significant. It would be much easier to simply capture a picture of friends and family mourning, and yes, that picture would still show emotion, but it is these design choices that make this image stand out. They are what make this image award-winning. Without these choices, this image would not truly show the brokenness of Javier's friends. The intended audience for this image is overall broad. The image can simply be intended for those who have not experienced losing any loved one, or someone they care about, as a result of a tragedy. The image shows how crushing it can be when an attack affects one that many care about. The secondary audience, a more specific audience, is teenagers, as many teens do not understand the sheer significance that a catastrophe has on the ones who care about someone who ends up falling victim. The values that the primary audience can see portrayed in the image are defeat, pain, anger, sadness, and brokenness. The values that the secondary audience hold are similar, but also values from the second audience include understanding and comprehension, as many teens typically do not understand the significance of such tragic events right away. The image does a very good job with appealing to these values that it hopes for the audiences to understand. The image overall does a fantastic job with appealing to multiple different audiences, but most importantly, its intended and secondary audience is what it appeals to best. There is a lot to take away from this image. Like mentioned before, this image is so effective because of not only its strategic design choices, which complement the image's appeals, but also because of the image's powerful yet simple approach. So what message is this image exactly trying to portray? The main claim from this image is the idea of comprehension. Comprehension, as in the idea of feeling helpless, and having no choice but to come to terms with reality. The image wants its audience to believe that true pain, shock, and brokenness are the results of such horrific tragedies. Brokenness is essentially the main theme from the image. In fact, the main thesis from the image is also all about the theory of brokenness. Brokenness essentially means that people can become broken as a result of losing a close friend or family member as a result of a tragedy. Brokenness is shown in this image as the classmates are experiencing true pain as a result of the El Paso tragedy and losing their classmate to it. The message conveyed due to the design choices results in a powerful yet simple statement. That statement being traced to just a few words: comprehension, pain, and brokenness. This statement, along with chosen design choices, persuade the audience to understand how significant these events affect those who are close to one who falls victim. The design choices make the audience feel the intensity of the tragedy that occurred. There are no logos or stats included within the picture, but instead, there's a caption. The caption from the image explains that the fallen classmate was among 22 others who were killed. The image relies on the credibility of how severe the incident was to help portray emotion. All of the design choices are very effective, as they highlight in a simple way the significance of the tragedy. And most importantly, they highlight the true brokenness one will feel when they lose somebody as a result to such a terrible tragedy.